I don't even know what episodes are in series 2.
You know which one was in series 2. You know one of them.
Oh yeah, I know the.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's the foundation of a fantastic Doctor Who series. You could say it's the pavement, the paving slab almost. You know, like.
I'm gonna cut you off right there. I see where that's going.
I'm just saying we've even got a bit of a love life. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Just.
Oh, I've missed you, bro. I've missed you.
I've missed you too.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, the show where two YouTubers get together and talk about Doctor Who. I'm one of your hosts, Troy, also known as Red Archer Live, and with me, the guy who's finally recovered from his very long illness that really did nuke the podcast for a little bit there. It's Crispy Pro. How you doing, bro?
I'm back, baby.
You were too slow on the wheel in there, weren't you?
I know.
There was
sorry.
A good pause.
I missed my cue. I'm good. How are you, Troy?
No, jokes aside, seriously, how are you doing, man? Are you okay?
I'm much better now. I'm much better. It was just grim there for a bit.
It feels so strange,
just exhausted
to have been
coughing,
so long.
But I didn't have the Rona though, which is good.
I know that, like, because you were sending me like your COVID tests, well, not actually sending me them. You were sending me like pictures of them going like, you know, well, I'm okay, I'm negative, and I was like, damn. But like, you were ill for like a good week and a half, 2 weeks, because I think we thought by the time we were going to record last week's episode that you were going to be okay, and then you started to dip again, didn't you? That was the thing.
Yeah, it was very, very annoying, very, very annoying. But here we are.
Yeah, well, for us, 3 weeks since we last recorded now.
I don't even know who you are anymore. I don't know.
We're just starting a brand new podcast, everyone. Welcome. How are you all doing?
Yes.
How are you all doing?
Welcome back.
Now we've got to get that algorithm back up,
new.
get that all the streams graph back up, you know. We get the peaks for the new episodes. Hopefully everyone comes back. We get millions of views now on this one.
Millions.
But speaking of new podcasts, before we talk about all the stuff we're going to do today, we wanted to mention something very, very briefly at the start. It's not that we're doing a new podcast before everyone starts to wonder. We need to make sure we get back to weekly ones with this. Crispy and I were talking a little bit, and we want to do discussions at some point about like other things we're watching. So the Obi-Wan TV show just ended yesterday for us at the time of recording this. Miss Marvel's going on at the same time. Like, we watch a lot of the Star Wars and Marvel stuff, and we were wondering if you guys would be interested in hearing us talk about it during an episode of the podcast. We've got a couple of options here. We can either try and fit in some segments to talk about it while we're like doing a normal episode, or we can try and do a bonus episode sometime where we do like an extra like half an hour recording. I probably won't edit it, so the audio might be a little bit more kind of sluggish. We might talk over each other a bit more, that kind of thing. But if I edit another episode, I just won't have the time in the week. So it might be a little bit more chaotic with us talking over each other and stuff, because I do mute us occasionally when we like overlap to try and make sure we hear each other's points, because it's internet connection, isn't it, to Australia? So it might be a little bit more shaky of like an episode structure, but if you want us to do bonus episodes where we talk about this stuff, let us know. The poll this week, we've decided ahead of time, will be, do you want segments in the episode to be about that stuff with spoiler warnings, or do you want just a complete chunk? What we'd probably do if we did like bonus episodes is wait till the show's finished and then talk about it all, maybe.
Yeah, but and then we can maybe dedicate an episode or something to it. We'll see. We
could do an Obi-Wan episode if you guys are interested. It might be a little bit old by the time it comes out. It might be like just over a week since it's finished, but we could still do it. Let us know.
But if you want it, let us know.
So, Crispy, what are we talking about today? What's the plan?
Well, it is the long-awaited Series 2 episode. We're finally looking back on the beautiful series that was David Tennant's first series, Series 2, all the way back in 2006, because we've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time, and then there was just news and news and news. What? Hang on a second. Troy, what is that you're holding there?
You mentioned David Tennant's first series. I just had this little thing that I wanted to show on the stream.
It looks kind of like a vinyl of sorts.
You might remember, beloved podcast listeners, that a few weeks ago, more than a few weeks ago at this point now, good grief, I mentioned that there was a vinyl re-release happening for the Series 1/Series 2 soundtrack of Doctor Who. So it's a compilation of Series 1 and Series 2's tracks. They were reissuing it. You could get it on black vinyl or exclusive orange vinyl. And actually, at the time of recording it, it was still in stock. I hadn't ordered it. And then when I went to edit the episode, I was going to order it while I was getting the picture for the edit. It was out of stock. So I missed out. And then it came back in stock very, very briefly. So I made the most and I grabbed it. So on the video, I'm going to show you it very carefully, because I've just whacked my mic, sorry. I do not want to get this damaged, especially with it being orange vinyl. But I will just show it off a little bit on the stream. I'm not going to get it completely out of the paper packaging, because it'll be hard to get it back in. But but you can see it's a literal orange disc with the Doctor Who logo on.
So cool.
It's beautiful. It is honestly beautiful. So now I've got to try and get this back into the slip without ruining it.
Please don't break it during a recording.
I know that would be very
horrible.
very bad. But yeah, the vinyl collector in me is very happy. I've been buying a few little bits. I'm starting to actually get a bit more money from the tutoring. I'm getting some savings now, and from Twitch. I mean,
he's saving up. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's touch on that, please. Tell the people.
So it's been a wild couple of days for me on the Twitch side of things because if people who don't know, I'm known for playing a game called Payday 2. And a new update came out for the game earlier this week. Very funny.
What's Payday?
Payas Deus. Go on, make the Payas Deus. There you go. But a new update came out for the game on Tuesday, and there's some special like Twitch drop stuff. Basically, if you watch the stream, you get rewards. And my viewing figures have skyrocketed across the last few days. Whereas normally playing Payday 2, I pull in like, honestly, I pull in like 30, maybe 40 viewers for a Payday 2 stream. Last night, we averaged at just under 500 viewers. We've kind of exploded a little bit. And Twitch have sent me an email and said, you can apply to be a Twitch partner. So after this podcast is done, I'm going to apply. I haven't applied yet. I thought, let's do a few more streams to keep the viewing average up, to bring it a bit higher. So I don't want them to look at one stream and go, that's flash in the pan, we're not going to approve it. Hopefully, maybe.
Smart.
They said they take into account your YouTube audience, and the main channel has 28k subs. That could be enough to get them to go, you know what? Maybe.
It's viable.
It's viable, so it's very exciting.
Good luck with it.
I'll let you all know next week. Hopefully, I'll know by next week what the situation is, and we can talk about it and maybe celebrate. Or, I mean, I'm not expecting I'll get approved. A few people have said to me, I've got a bit of a chance. I wasn't expecting it, so if I get told that it's no, I won't be surprised. It's fine, but it's still been a good week.
Keep us updated, please.
Yeah, it's still been a good week. So, we're going to talk about Series 2 today, and what we're going to do, we probably should have mentioned this about 5 minutes ago, but we're not far into the recording. We obviously have got a lot of responses from you guys as to your thoughts on Series 2, because we asked you to give us your thoughts for about 3 weeks in a row. So at the end of the episode, we're going to set 15 minutes aside at the end to go through all of your thoughts on the series. So stick around. We'll answer as many of them as we can, basically, that we can fit in that 15-minute segment. And next week, what are we talking about? I've just realised we didn't actually discuss that before we started recording. We are so out of habit.
There's all kinds of things we could talk about, Troy.
Let me see what would we schedule for the next episode after Series 2. What
is it? What is it, Troy? What is it?
We had planned that episode 16, which is now episode 17, because we obviously slid in the exhibition episode. Episode 17 now will be talking about the Doctor Who centenary and our theories on what could happen in the episode. We really wanted to do an episode like that, but we wanted to let the dust settle a little bit, because we don't know what was going on with the marketing, and things might be settling a little bit now with the news regarding the 6th anniversary stuff, or there's something about that we can discuss in just a moment. So we're going to get into Series 2 and talk about it very shortly, and then we'll read all your responses later on. But let's do polls very quickly. So we've got 2 polls.
Housekeeping.
I don't believe I actually read out the poll from episode 14. I might be going crazy here, so if I have read it out once before, then you're only hearing it again, but whatever. But I don't think I read this out. Episode 14's poll asked who you thought Yasmin Finney's character, the name Rose, actually was. Options were Donna Noble / Sean Temple's daughter, a recast or alternate universe version of Rose Tyler, or a completely new character altogether that just happens to be called Rose. The poll had 29 votes, and 93% said Donna Noble or Sean Temple's daughter, and 3% each for the other 2 options, which I think works out to a vote each. So one person voted for one of the other options each, and then everyone else said Donna Noble, Sean Temple's daughter, which seems like the likely one.
Doesn't surprise me.
That seems like the
surprise me
one.
in the slightest.
I'm not
That's
stunned
what
by
we'd
that in the
vote for.
slightest. Yeah, exactly. I think we should just start voting on the polls ourselves to rig it.
I think I have voted in a few polls.
Have you? Well, there you go. You've just slid your way in there. But last episode's poll, I wasn't really sure what to ask based on the exhibition, so I thought, you know what, let's get to know our listeners a little bit better. And I thought, let's ask our listeners who their favourite modern Doctor is. And the results, I am very, very, very happy with. Crispy doesn't know these yet. He asked me what they were, and so I don't know. Wait to find out.
This is a genuine reaction, folks.
We have got all the results being from the 9th, 10th, the 11th, 12th, and 13th Doctors. So we can only have up to 5 responses. So we went for the 5 mainline Doctors that have had series in the revival. So War and Fugitive aren't coming into the equation here. So I'm going to do reverse order. 27 votes, okay? A little bit sad about this one. In 5th place is the 9th Doctor, with 4% of the votes. Chris Freckleson has come out on the bottom. That surprised me.
I'm surprised by that.
While I would like Chris Eccleston to be higher, I am honestly really glad that Jodie isn't at the bottom, because that was what I anticipated going into this.
That's as bad as it sounded. I was like, when you said that, I'm sad. I was like, oh geez, please don't tell me Jodie's down the bottom there.
I know, because that's what I was worried about. Because I know there's like obviously this thing where you get loads of people going, oh, 13th Doctor. I spoke a bit about Doctor Who in my Twitch stream last night, and someone was like, oh, I like Doctor Who, but I'm not a big fan of where the show's gone now. And I'm like, oh no, not you too. Not you too. You're a new viewer. I want to like you. Don't make me hate you. No, seriously. But next up in the results, so 9th Doctor at 4%. Next up then is the 13th Doctor at 7%. After that, then we have a leap to 19% for the 11th Doctor.
Ooh, interesting.
So it comes down to a battle between 10 and 12. In second place, with 30% of the votes.
Hype this up. Let it linger.
In second place, with 30% of the votes, drum roll please, is the 10th Doctor, meaning taking the top spot in the listeners' poll with 41% of the votes, is Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor. 12 has come out as the king.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we have the best audience. I
honestly thought 10 would come out first. I thought 10 would come out first and 12 would be second.
Did I.
I really thought that would be how it would be organised. So, 9th Doctor in 5th place, 13th Doctor 4th, 11th Doctor in 3rd place, 10th Doctor in 2nd, and 12th Doctor in the lead by 11% of the votes.
Wow.
Thank you all for voting on that. It's really, really interesting.
Shock. Yeah, well done.
That's brill. Because we're both kind of like 12 standees. I'm going a bit more for 10 at the minute because of all the stuff happening. And Jodie's probably my 3rd favourite Doctor. I probably would go 12, 10, 13 if I was to rank them. But like that makes it sound like I don't like 9 and 11. I love 9 and 11 like so much. Like they're all so close together. It's like ranking. It's like getting 5 A-star grades and then comparing the marks that you got for those grades. It's like they're all right up there. I just like there's little differences, you know. It's honestly, but it's really, really cool. So yeah, the poll this week will be about whether you want
everyone.
the episodes talking about other shows as like a segment or a separate episode. So let us know for that.
Yep.
But the last poll to slide on at the very end is a joke thing, because I want to touch on this very, very briefly. You put on your little sing-along video, will David Tennant as my dad reach the Billboard Hot 100? 75% said yes, 25% said no. So congratulations, Crispy, you're now a famous singer. Crazy that, isn't it?
Woohoo! I can't believe that song's going to chart.
That song was so catchy.
I really want to make a full version, because that was literally me just messing around on GarageBand one day, and I just had the riff of like the do
it, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could make that into something. And so I left it for ages, and then I like adjusted the start to include the Neil Patrick Harris line.
I was going to say, because you said you had that song ready for weeks.
I've had that song for so long, and then but I never had like the first verse or anything.
Oh, right.
So I was like, oh, I'll add in some like current stuff so that people feel like it's a current song.
Yeah, because I remember you were trying to render the video to put up as the apology, and it came out a little bit later than planned. And I was like going, oh, what's going on? So I was already out in town. I was out. What was I doing on Saturday? I don't remember. I was out doing something. And I got the ping and I was like, right, let's have a listen to the video. And I heard him mention Neil Patrick Harris and went, hang on, I thought he said this song was done weeks ago. Did he know about Neil? Did he know and not tell me?
I predicted.
Crazy.
No.
Actually, we did predict. Can we just mention this for a second? Because I remembered this. I said in episode 2 of the podcast, who will be the 14th Doctor? Up. I honestly would love to see Neil Patrick Harris in Doctor Who. I said that, I forgot about it, and I remembered not long after he was cast. Go and listen to episode 2 if you haven't already. It's towards the end of the episode, I think about 45 minutes in, I think. I mentioned Neil Patrick Harris. So,
wow.
You've dabbled with predictions. Now meet the genuine article. We did it.
Wow.
So my dream's been fulfilled.
The power this podcast holds, if you're able to manifest that, I'm scared with the amount of times I've mentioned James Corden on this podcast that we might be in trouble.
Late Show's finishing next year. Let's not manifest that. Let's not.
His schedule is free. His schedule is free.
Like all the American talk shows are ending. Like James Corden's one, Ellen's ended. I thought Conan had ended, but I'm not even sure if that's come back or something. And then there's another one that's ending as well. Maybe all of them will just come as like a big Doctor Who US talk show host monster episode.
Oh gosh.
The talk show hosts are invading.
No.
Oh, blimey. So speaking of Neil, we should mention briefly, we're going to overrun for the news here, but who gives a damn? We've got to catch up on a bunch of stuff. So Neil Patrick Harris is in Doctor Who. He has been confirmed to be the bad guy or a bad guy of the 60th anniversary. Rusty Davies referenced him as the Doctor's greatest enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Which hopefully doesn't mean Sacha Dhawan's fearing for his job.
No.
Crispy, do you want to tell us what the top theory right now for who Neil Patrick Harris is playing?
I would love to. So according to some set pictures and everything, there, I don't know if you saw, there was a shop that was made at a shop front. It was a toy shop. So a lot of people are under the impression that Neil Patrick Harris will be playing the Celestial Toymaker, which is a classic villain I don't know much about. However, apparently they are very good. And look, I think from what I understand, Josh Snares recently made a brilliant video on a Lost Story about the Celestial Toymaker. And apparently it's kind of like, I don't know, they just mess with the Doctor and create all these fake scenarios and put them in there. And I think Thary's actually had a really good theory about like this entire thing, the entire like David Tennant coming back and everything is all just like an illusion, kind of like a WandaVision type thing. Anyway, a lot of other theories. Regardless, Neil Patrick Harris, WandaVision.
Yeah, do the little motifs, you know.
But yeah, so anyway, Neil Patrick Harris is in Doctor Who, and I can guarantee he's going to go down in history as one of the best villains Doctor Who has ever seen, because I love that man as an actor and entertainer.
Yep.
I think he's brilliant, and it's a huge get for Doctor Who. Massive get for Doctor Who.
The 60th anniversary is going to be legend. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Finish it off, Crispy. Finish it off. Finish it off. Finish it off.
I hope you're not lactose intolerant, because the next word is dairy.
Oh, he's gone for the very first one. Very first use of it. Nice. Yeah, for the record, I am like one of my favourite shows of all time is How I Met Your Mother. So if that doesn't already illustrate how much I love that announcement, because I lost my mind, then there you go. Because I was like, everyone was going crazy, going, I can't believe it wasn't the 11th Doctor being announced. And I was like, you know what? Neil Patrick Harris being in it is pretty much on the same level for me. That's crazy, because I already in my head know Matt's coming back. We already know that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's probably foolish to assume.
Let's speak about that. What happened recently, Troy? Something happened recently that led us to believe that something might happen.
Well. Aside from being asked during the Morbius press tour whether he'd rather do a Morbius sequel or return to Doctor Who, and he chose Doctor Who. Surprisingly, I would have thought he'd have said Morbius too, but you know, who's surprised by that one? All of us. But he has been spotted out and about with his shopping recently, sporting a haircut very similar to I don't know. The haircut of the 11th Doctor, I think. It's a very strange one.
Yes.
The picture will be on screen now for people to see on the video version, if I can find it again. But yeah, he's been seen out with this kind of the big top flop a little bit that kind of goes over to the side. It looks very much a bit messier like it did in Series 5. I mean, you could probably tidy it up and make it look like Series 7's hair, but it's got that hairstyle to it, similar colour, similar all that stuff. It just looks like it could be 11's hair.
Doctor Who-y.
Yeah, looks Doctor Who-y. So, I mean, we're all assuming
if he does come back, they
so.
might film it. If they do do that, they might film all like his scenes behind doors, so we won't know until like the episode comes out. I don't know. Well, but there's a massive theory right now that it's not a multi-Doctor story.
It could be just several different episodes of different Doctors.
You know,
it could be.
But how we I don't know. If it's just David Tennant and Catherine Tate, great. Huge, love it. It's going to be
not
awesome.
Good enough.
How is that celebrating 60 years? That's my question. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, it's intriguing. It is intriguing. So maybe he'll come back. I mean, Capaldi seems very against it, as we know. Jodie, depending on how long after she's had her baby, they ask her, maybe she'd come back. We don't know. That one's more up in the air. But Yasmin Finney has finished filming Doctor Who, so she's done. I don't know whether that means permanently or just for the 60th or how it's going to work. Presumably just for the 60th. But so she's done with that. Does that mean that all the David Tennant stuff is done? We don't know. There were loads of set photos in Bristol recently. I'll put one of the pictures on screen that was taken by, I believe his name is Tom Wren. I really hope I got that right. That man went out there with a proper full-on 4K camera and got some of the best set photos I've ever seen in existence. They were gorgeous, honestly.
Thumbnails will never be the same. No.
So that was phenomenal, getting some pictures there. We saw David Tennant and Neil Patrick Harris dance very briefly. David Tennant did his little pose where he has his hands between two people and he's just like holding people. There's loads of stuff like that. So the next thing I think will be the 11th Doctor announcement. I reckon my theory now is I'm sticking with what we said a little while ago. We said it could be several different episodes of different Doctors. I think the time will come where they might end up doing 11th Doctor stuff and then they'll start announcing those things. Which we should just say very briefly to everyone on Twitter who's still making the complaint about, David Tennant and Russ Davies is getting more marketing than Jodie's special. Can we just say about how, like, it's an unfair thing to say. I'm going to say this. I don't know how involved you want to get involved, because that face you pulled there was almost like, I'm staying out of this.
I just wanted to see what you'd say about it, because we haven't had this discussion
yet.
I've
got two arguments for it. One is the one that I'm seeing constantly, and one is one that I think I'm more alone in feeling. The first one is that Russell is only revealing the stuff that's going to get leaked publicly anyway. They're going to film in literally Bristol for the main thing. You'd see Neil Patrick Harris on set and go, Neil Patrick Harris is on the set of Doctor Who. They're announcing it ahead of time to buzz up more hype, because it's only going to be revealed anyway. Why not capitalise on it and make it a big, like, social media event for your show? Everything they revealed so far, bar Ncuti Gatwa, interestingly enough, was all, because it was about to be revealed. We obviously discussed at the time Ncuti Gatwa might have been about to be leaked, and that might be why they announced it. But, like, most of it, like, all the set stuff for the 60th has been stuff that was going to be revealed anyway. The other argument, though, is that people are saying, oh, it's in the way of the centenary marketing. The BBC are treating the centenary like garbage and pushing the 60th stuff out. Like, we all know Chibnall's marketing has not been as good as it could have been if the BBC have marketed Jodie's era. I'm not going to pretend like that's not the case. That's obviously true. However, the special is still roughly 4 months out. Okay?
Absolutely.
I want to argue that for the first thing. We should probably know the name at some point. I would have liked to have known the name by now. I will back people on that.
We should have known the name.
I'll back people on that. However, do remember that when we got the trailer for Centenary, it was already about 10 times as long as most of the marketing you get for future Jodie episodes at the end of any kind of trailer. Because normally, like, think about the Eve of the Daleks trailer. It's just, here we are again, here's a Dalek, blah, 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 end. Centenary was a good 30 seconds with Ace, Tegan, the Master, Lone Cybermen, Daleks, all that stuff. It was a full-on, fully-fledged trailer, which at that point is roughly 6 months before the episode comes out, not to mention all of the teaser pictures they put out afterwards. Like, I know the marketing's not been great, but that already is much better than a lot of what we had for Jodie's era. So
it is true.
The marketing will come. We're still 4 months off. I don't understand the argument right now, honestly. Like, because the things will die down with the 60th, and then they'll be able to push the centenary a bit more. That's how I see it.
Which is exactly what's going to happen. No. All of your points are very, very valid.
I've thought this through. I've had 3 weeks. I've had 3 weeks to construct my arguments.
To think about it. But I feel like people are, like, forgetting that for series 11, 12, and Flux, like, the marketing, like, really only pushed, like, maybe 1 month out, 2 months out. Like, it's with the Chibnall era particularly, it's a very quick push, very quick fuss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But like, even this quick marketing campaign doesn't just apply to Doctor Who. Like, they really tried it with Spider-Man No Way Home. You remember, like, the delay on, like, the initial trailer and then the second trailer? Like, the second trailer came out so close to the release date.
That's
true. I think, a similar thing is going to apply with the centenary. But yeah, I'm excited regardless, and I feel like everyone just needs to chill out and, heck, just enjoy the fact that David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and Ncuti Gatwa are in Doctor Who, okay?
And we're going to have the longest episode of modern Doctor Who when the centenary comes out, if Russell's 90-minute comment is to be believed. Like,
wouldn't it be crazy if it was 47 minutes?
Imagine if after all that it's 47 minutes. Like, that would ruin it. That would ruin it, the amount they're packing into that.
I'd hate it.
Good grief.
Oh my goodness.
So we're 22 minutes into the recording, roughly. I think we should probably get on to the main topic of the episode now, no?
I think we need to. I think we definitely need to. But you know what, Troy? Screw it. It's been fun hanging out with you again. I'll say it. You know what, mate?
Yeah, actually...
Cheers to that, mate. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Oh my gosh. That's the surprise you had for me. Oh my good golly gosh.
I've had this for like 2 weeks now. Can you describe what's happening for the audio listeners right now?
Crispy is holding the official Red Archer Live water bottle from my merch store. That is mad. I forgot you bought that, to be honest, because it was a few weeks ago. We haven't spoken since. He just got it out and started drinking from it in the middle of his comment. Oh, that's warmed my heart. That has warmed my heart so much.
I know. It's a good day
I do get like a handful of merch purchases. I got one last night on my stream and I was like, this is really, really cool. I'd love it. It's like, because it's all good when, you get like subscriptions, donations, that stuff. It's all brilliant, but it's something different about it being an IRL thing that someone's buying.
Yeah.
Something you can own physically. It's like, that's so cool. And with my name on it.
Look at how good it looks, mate. Look at how bloody good it looks.
That is honestly brill. I love it.
Matches my outfit too.
Thank you for supporting me, my man. I appreciate it. That looks good.
That's all right.
Looks good. Yeah, if you want to check out my merch store, go to... No, okay.
No, you can't. I don't care.
And the only thing I want to say about it is I love that it's redarcherlive.com. Like, I loved that was the URL I got for it. Nice. I got a custom domain for it, and I remember when I was teasing the merch store, I was like, you guys are going to love the URL. You're going to love it when I announce it, because I didn't share it so that I could work on everything behind the scenes, because it was like public. You could get into it about 3 months before I announced it. I just didn't tell everyone what the link was so no one could get in there.
Nice.
And then I literally just on the stream and went, it's redarchlive.com, and everyone went, no way, you're joking. I was like, nope, that's what it is. We need to make one for you next.
Very good.
We need to make one for you next.
Absolutely. That's the plan, mate. That's the plan.
Heck yeah. We'll talk about it after the episode then. I'll give you my thoughts, I'll guide you through it.
Thank you.
So Series 2 of Doctor Who, we've got, 20 minutes to talk about it? If we're going to keep to the hour length, we're probably going to have a longer episode today. Oh, with my streamlans this week, I'm going to have no time to edit this.
We'll be fine.
We're back to Troy moaning about editing, ladies and gents. Woo!
Everyone take a shot.
Everyone take a shot. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, everyone take a shot. Hope you're all drunk by this point. So, we're going to have to go on a whistle-stop tour here. So, when do we want to start with our thoughts on Series 2? Do you want to start with overall things, or do you want to focus on specific bits? Like, where are we going with this?
Okay, let's just talk about our overall thoughts on the series. What's the vibe you get from Series 2 looking back, Troy?
My least favourite of David Tennant's series, but still a great series. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm of a belief, and I've said this before, for most Doctors, their series get better as they go on. Definitely true for Tennant and Capaldi. Definitely true for Whittaker, although people will disagree. I saw one tweet the other day saying Flux is like the worst series of television I've ever seen. No, I had to take a very deep breath and just scroll down and ignore the tweet. Matt Smith, obviously we've debated, can be negotiated because people prefer Series 5, sometimes fine. But David Tennant is definitely one where it applies. I love Series 2, but Series 3 and Series 4, as we'll get to when we talk about those, I think just trump it a little bit.
I agree.
It's also difficult for me because just like Series 1, I didn't watch it live. Series 3 was where I jumped on. So, like, my memories of Series 2 is more like catching up on it and seeing the episodes. But there were several episodes in that series that I watched over and over again when I was a kid. Like, my favourite episode as a kid was definitely The Lazarus Experiment, which we'll get there with the Series 3 episode. Kids have strange choices. They have strange choices. But 2 episodes I would watch a lot, or 3 almost, came from Series 2, which were Tooth and Claw, The Idiot's Lantern, and Love and Monsters. For some reason, my mum and I just found The Wire really funny in The Idiot's Lantern. We just, like, whenever we wanted food, we just start going, hungry! And it was a running joke for literally years. It was so daft. But I loved Tooth and Claw. Like, I think I was probably a bit too young, but at one point I think I saw American Werewolf in London. Like, the old film from, I think, the 80s or something.
Okay, yeah,
It's a good film. And, like, I just like seeing werewolf transformations or, like, kind of, like, supernatural transformation type stuff. I love that kind of thing. So, like, that was, like, I feel like Doctor Who, for 2006 CGI, they nailed that. That wolf transformation is phenomenal.
It's quite creepy.
Yeah.
Like, and they have, like, some practical stuff. They, like, black out his eyes as well. Like, put contacts in. That's creepy. As a kid, I found that genuinely creepy.
Yeah, and the noises. Like, when he's moving, you can hear all those, like, bones cracking. It's like, God, it's like, and he's, like, screaming,
Shivers.
So, Series 2, like, to sum it up, I think, Series 2 is one of the more interesting ones because, like, there's a lot of different concepts thrown into it for where they go. And I know that's a typical, like, thing for Doctor Who series. It's not unique to Series 2, but I just feel like there's a lot of different vibes. A station by a black hole, Victorian werewolves, like a new Earth with cat nuns. Like, there's, like, it just feels like Russell T Davies really just went, he took Series 1's diversity and just went, you know what? Mental concepts, let's just go even further out. We're even going to have a fat guy that sucks people up and says they taste like chicken halfway through towards the end of the series. Like, we're going to go, we're going to go mental on it. We're going to go crazy, right? So, like, I don't, no, I was going to make a point and just realised I completely disagree with it. So, well, let's move on to episodes, I think, because I think it's a good point to start.
Okay.
The point I was going to make was there isn't a bad episode in Series 2. And I forgot that there is one that
I disagree.
Neither of us like. What is that episode, Crispy?
It's my least favourite episode of New Who.
Really? More than In the Forest of the Night?
Absolutely. I bag on that because it like rhymes with I can't know if I can say it.
In the Forest of the In the Forest of the Poopy.
The Poopy, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just like a campaign.
Why did we
that was
sound
just a
three?
little...
I'm cutting you off. Why did we sound 3 when we said that? I can't keep a straight face and listen to you. In the forest of the poopy.
Words.
In the forest of the poopy.
In the forest of the poopy.
Poopity scoop. All right. Sorry. Let me calm down. Make your point again.
No.
I'll take a deep breath.
No. Oh, nice. Series 8 reference.
Oh, it wasn't intentional. I mean, yes, it was. Yes, go.
Yes. No, the episode in question is Fear Her. Look, in all fairness, I haven't rewatched it in a long time.
Fair.
But I remember even the first time I watched it with my young juvenile brain that didn't understand, the concept of story and characters and how, TV can be good. Even then, I was like, I don't like this. Why don't I like this? I think it was the Scribble Monster. I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're comparing Scribble-based monsters, the woman who fell to Earth did it much better. Like, I liked that they actually kind of made it into like an actual tool rather than just being a random monster.
Yeah.
The concept of drawing people and trapping them in drawings is a good concept. I like that.
That is cool. That is a cool
concept. I think Sarah Jane Adventures episode Mona Lisa's Revenge maybe did that a little bit better, capturing people in the Mona Lisa.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, nice. a little bit of a more niche reference, a little bit of a more niche one. I just loved that in that episode. If you've not seen it, it's going to spoil it a tiny bit, but like the idea is the Mona Lisa gets out of the painting and has a Sontaran's gun for some reason. I think she pulls it out of the museum somewhere or something, but she traps like one of the other museum staff in the Mona Lisa to replace her, and then they do this big unveiling thing, and it's just this woman who's just like in the Mona Lisa doing a similar pose but gasping. And she looks nothing like the Mona Lisa. It's great. And the Mona Lisa, fun fact, was played in that episode by Saran Jones, who played the Doctor's wife. Sorry, I've knocked my mic again. Who was the TARDIS in the Doctor's wife, So just a little... Yeah, that's Saran Jones. Same actress.
Far out.
Who is one of the best actresses in Britain. She's very good. She's very, very good. Just wanted to share that information. Does she have
her own... Hang on. Does she have her own show?
Yes,
where it's on a submarine?
Jack. Oh, yeah, Vigil. She was in Vigil.
Show? Yeah, I watched all of Vigil. That was good.
Gentleman
anyway.
Jack, Scott and Bailey, if you knew that in the UK, you might not have heard of it, but that was another one. What else was there? Dr. Foster. She's been in loads of stuff. She's like a big UK name. For
we need to get her on the podcast. Let's get her on the podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be easy. Saran Jones. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we'll sort that. But yeah, so Fear Her is just like... I don't even know if there's any particular I don't like. I think there's some cringy dialogue in it, but that's not unique to that episode, where he's carrying the torch. It's not just a torch now, it's hope, and it's like, okay, I know what you're doing there, but I honestly, the most uncomfortable thing for me was I'm not a big fan. Actually, no, I'm going to make this into a joke. I was uncomfortable with David Tennant not wearing a shirt. Or like an undershirt, sorry. Because I think that was the first episode where he had the shirt open and nothing underneath, and you could see his chest hair billowing out of his outfit, and I couldn't unsee it once I noticed.
Really?
Yeah. It's like what you're like right now, but like much worse. That's a joke, by the way.
Worse than this?
Worse than this? Worse than crispy pro chest hair?
Oh my gosh, I've never realised that.
Yeah, I might be the only episode where his chest hair's out on show. No, but that was a joke. The thing that genuinely makes me uncomfortable is like the whole thing about her dad being like a piece of work is like, it's an interesting plot point. Like, it's genuinely like an interesting thing about, family drama and stuff. I didn't like at the very end when I thought they'd solved all the problems and the dad was trying to get out and he was like, I'm coming to get you. And it had a really like dark feeling to it. That was a bit like, it's a bit
sinister.
It is like a bit overly sinister, I feel like, but Fear Her is just one of those episodes that's so bland that people don't like it. I don't think there's anything particularly offensive about it. It's just like, this is not a good episode.
I'll give it a rewatch. Maybe we could do maybe we could do an episode where we say like watching the worst episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And we review Fear Her again.
Rank them, like pick like 5 episodes or something and like watch them and say which one's the worst one or something.
I love the fact that we come up with episode ideas just during the recordings.
Anyone steals these ideas, we are going to take you to court.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be the next. We
have proof that we came up with it first.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a joke here. I need to remember the guy's name.
Oh gosh, this better be good.
No, we'll take you to court, and Asmongold reacts to it for 6 weeks. So it's not worth it.
Very good.
I spent 2 minutes looking at that guy's name just to make that joke. I swear down. It took me like 2 minutes to find his name. That joke was not worth it. I don't even know if everyone's gonna get that. Because I know,
it's good.
If you get it, you get it. It's a trial joke. You can guess who we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There is justice in the world. Moving on.
Far out.
Am I allowed to keep that one in? Can we have opinions on situations? I think that's one where we definitely can have an opinion on and we can share. So yes.
Yeah.
Justice was achieved. So let's talk a little bit, because one thing we've got to put some time into, because we have to put some time into it, is Love and Monsters. Okay? In defense of the indefensible, as they might say, I have never disliked this episode. Just leading with that to begin with. So, if I remember correctly, the premise of this episode existing was because Christopher Eccleston was regenerating, and then Rusty Davies decided or was offered or something happened where they were going to do a Christmas special, and that would allow them to bridge the gap between the regeneration of Series 1 to Series 2. But that then took up the space of filming an episode in the filming block. So Rusty Davies needed to account for that by making an episode that was Doctor Light, so that it could be filmed alongside other Doctor Who episodes. That's what I've picked up and heard.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, that Love and Monsters was filmed at the same time as Fear Her? That's what I remember hearing. It might be
they're right next to each other.
Yeah. So I think there was a similar filming block and they overlapped. So like David Tennant would and Billie Piper would jump a bit from Fear Her to go to do the little bits in Love and Monsters and then be done, and everything else could be filmed because none of the characters overlap between those episodes beyond that, right?
Yeah.
So it was the first Doctor Light episode done because of Christmas special and all that stuff. And I really liked it. Mark Warren, for one thing, being the lead cast member. Mark Warren is another absolute legend of British television. I will recommend a show to you all right now. If you like John Simm's Master, there is a show with John Sim, Mark Warren, the lead from Love and Monsters, Philip Glenister, if you've ever seen him. He's not in Doctor Who, but he's a fantastic British actor. And Max...
Is it Mars?
No, not Life on Mars.
Show?
I think Max Beasley is his name, I think. The four of them together did a show called Mad Dogs. And it's about four like middle-aged men who go off on a holiday to like Portugal or something and get wrapped up in a drug cartel by complete accident. The first episode ends with a drug cartel guy dressed as Tony Blair walking into the dinner and shooting somebody. And that is like the least chaotic thing that happens in the series. They trap people in wells. They have like it's ridiculous. It's like a dark drama with loads of comedy. Like, there's loads of stupid lines, and it is one of the best British TV programmes. If you get a chance to watch Mad Dogs, watch it. It's got 4 seasons. I think all of them were fantastic, but the first one in particular was just, like, beautiful. So, Mark Warren is just great for that stuff alone, and John Sim and Philip Glenister, they are in Life on Mars as well, which is what you mentioned. They just have a great... They bounce off each other very, very well. So, Mark Warren's great, and I think he commands the episode really, really well. He's, like, a really good narrator for it, and kind of like a relatable character. Good.
His performance is like very good. As far as guest stars on the show, that's not one to dismiss. Not
at all. I think it's really, really, really good. And I just really like the concept that we're going to take an episode, we're going to have a look at the people on the ground, what they've seen of Doctor Who since the series come back, all the different events that have affected like the UK kind of thing, and like almost try and offer like a window into it that's better than a companion, because the companions are meant to be like our surrogate for the show, right? But this is like taking it one step further and going, here's how it would be if I was just like you and you'd seen all this stuff. Here's kind of an idea. Like, you want to find out more about the Doctor. I met him when I was a kid and all this stuff. And I also have to give it credit because it got me into ELO. You know, that I have a very faint memory. Electric Light Orchestra, the band, Mr. Blue Sky.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Because
okay.
My mum and I watched that episode. It was one of the first ones I think we watched after getting into Doctor Who. And I remember loving Mr. Blue Sky in that episode. And we went on holiday to the East Coast, to Yorkshire in the UK. And we found a CD of the greatest hits of ELO with Mr. Blue Sky and all the other stuff. And we played it on a loop, driving around like Whitby and Scarborough in the UK and all that. If you ever know where those places are, then you can get the vibe. But I just have this very distinct child memory of that. Love Monsters responsible for that, which is lovely.
Gosh.
So I just love the whole thing, and I love the absorbable off. Don't care what anyone says. Like, the fact that a kid drew a monster and he became a monster in Doctor Who, I don't care what you think of how he looks or anything. That is beautiful. And generally, I think he looks quite good anyway, you know, and Peter Kay's performance is fantastic.
It's iconic, and there's been like kind of a resurgence of love and respect for Love and Monsters, especially during like 2020. When we started doing all those Doctor Who rewatches and stuff, the community response to Love and Monsters was something I hadn't seen in years or
There should have been a Love and Monsters watch along. There should have been.
I don't think there was. Hey,
no, there should have been.
But
that should have been like the biggest one.
That, I know it would have. But regardless, I just like since then I've seen a newfound love for Love and Monsters, and even back in the day, you said you never disliked it. I never disliked it either. Me and my sister had this massive argument because we rewatched series. We watched series 2 together for the first time. We were kids, and I remember watching Love and Monsters and Fear Her in the car. We were driving somewhere on holiday, and I remember loving Love and Monsters and not liking Fear Her, and my sister loved Fear Her and didn't like Love and Monsters. And so can you imagine that car ride? Can you imagine that car ride the whole time? Like, what are you on about?
Oh,
my sister's like, that one doesn't have the Doctor in it. How can you like it?
If she's saying stuff like that, then I wouldn't be able to help but to fear her.
Yeah. That's
you guys
funny.
haven't missed my terrible jokes, have you? No one's missed those. No one's missed those.
I haven't.
But yeah, I just love that concept, and the quotes in it I think are brilliant. I just think it's a really solid episode of Doctor Who, and it's still like a cult classic.
It is fun.
It's kind of nice seeing people be a bit nice towards it as time goes by. It's almost like how Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor feel about like the love of the prequels now as time's gone by, like because they obviously did not like the response when it came out, understandably, and like they've realised now that what the episode they made was for another generation, and that generation
and now here we are
going to these conventions, seeing that stuff. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing where like people get a newfound love for something that was previously panned. I love that. I really do.
Yeah.
Hoping that Jodie's era has a similar effect later down the line.
Almost guarantee it will.
Capaldi's had that. Capaldi's had a similar thing. Like I was part
literally.
of that. I liked Capaldi's run, and I loved Series 10 when it came out, but I loved it so much more when I rewatched it in 2020, like around the watch-along time. Like I got into it, and it was just like, wow, he's phenomenal. So, have you got any extra thoughts on Love and Monsters? Because I think I kind of carried it with nostalgic memories, you know? What?
No, I feel like Love and Monsters is very much closer to you than it is me.
Yeah.
But I liked the episode, and I definitely rewatched it more than I have Fear Her. And I don't know, like being like critically panned or like labeled for so many years as the worst episode, I don't think it is. I don't think it is in the slightest. Fear Her would take the cake for me.
Yeah, well, or In the Forest of the Poopy.
In the Forest of the Poopy.
But yes, I just love that. So, right off the bat now, what is your favourite episode in Series 2?
I'm so glad you asked. I've been looking at all of these episodes literally up and down, and I can't name... Girl in the Fireplace does stand out to me, but I'm a sucker for Stephen Moffat stories. I did a watch-along
for that in my Discord. So I mentioned this, that my server was doing a watch-along for Doctor Who a little while ago, which we finished now. I don't think I said whether we finished it or not, but we did finish it a little while back. I remember watching The Girl in the Fireplace, and I was crying at the ending. Like, a few people were watching with me were crying at the ending. Like, I forgot how sad that is. That is a beautifully written episode.
It's
and
very,
that motif
very well
that
done.
Maury Gold composed, which is on that vinyl, I might add, it's one of Maury Gold's best pieces. It's definitely an underrated piece of music. Just like the really soft nature of it. Dun, 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 dun. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like I just have such an appreciation for soundtracks. I think people are starting to get that impression now. Like I have such a deep like love for soundtracks for shows and movies. And that episode really carries it.
You definitely do.
Are you settling on Girl in the Fireplace or?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know whether I'd settle on Love and Monsters. Like it's a very special episode to me, but I don't know whether I'd settle on that being the best one.
Settle on it. I really, really enjoy for what it did. School Reunion. I've watched that episode a lot. Because that was just, the kickoff point for the Sarah Jane adventures, and, we got K9 back, and it was a very beautiful kind of love letter to that era of Doctor Who, and, having Liz Sladen in there, it's never a bad time with her. So. Underrated
potential best moment in the episode. The little argument between Tennant and Rose outside of the chip shop, when she's saying about, you just replace us. And he makes that argument where he goes, humans, you wither and you die. Imagine watching that happen to someone that and he can't finish the sentence. And she's like, someone you what? And it moves on from there like that. Oh. And you can see in his face that it's like upsetting him. Like, and he's 3 episodes in as a Doctor. Well, 4 episodes in, I guess, Christmas special, whatever. But like, as the Doctor fully formed, he's 3 episodes in. Like, that is mesmerizing. That is genuinely mesmerizing. Cool. Like, it's a great moment. But
my favorite scene in that episode is when, the moment between Sarah Jane and Rose where they're like laughing so hard at something.
Does he still stroke bits of the TARDIS?
Yeah. Do you know why they were laughing so hard? I found this out on Twitter the other day.
Why?
With like the actors. I'm pretty sure for the take, like David Tennant like drew a mustache or something on him, and then they they got the cameras going, and then he like went and did that, and they got their genuine reaction.
That's why one of them was pointing at him. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's something, I can't remember if he drew a mustache or something. He had something funny going on, and they got the genuine reaction for it. So that's why I like that scene,
cool.
just because of a little Easter egg. Yeah. See, I know some things. I'm a Doctor Who fan sometimes.
You're the one who's been the Doctor Who YouTube for 8 years, 9 years now. Like, come on.
I know.
Come on.
It's 10 years next year, mate.
10 years next year. Yeah, it's 8 years for me on YouTube in 3 months. So I'm a little bit younger than you on the YouTube game, A little bit younger.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. I'm a seasoned professional, mate.
Exactly, mate. When are you going to do your next YouTube stream, mate?
When my internet is okay.
Yeah, and then can I be a guest again? Can I just be in all of your streams going forward?
You can pop on.
Yeah.
It was fun last time.
It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. I have to, though, like, I think it's a good point to kind of wrap up our talk about series 2. It's talking about Tennant and Rose's dynamic, and it's going to go somewhere, so we'll get there in a minute. But I really love their relationship together. I know there are a lot of people that argue Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper were better together. I don't personally believe that. I think Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper were phenomenal together, but I think David Tennant and Billie Piper clinch it a bit because they have that added weight of what happened in series 1, and I think both of them carry it very well, despite the fact that one of the lead actors literally completely changed. They carry that weight of like the romance that was building.
They do.
Really well. And I think as a couple, I actually think those two are better suited for like the romantic thing, you know, the skinny kind of like, you know, running about, I'm all cool doctor with the young like 20-year-old, 21-year-old girl who's like, you know.
Yeah.
I just think they work really well together, and that's why people were so attached to like that series in particular. Series 2 was obviously when she comes back in series 4, everyone goes nuts. The scene of them running towards each other in Stolen Earth, which we'll get to in the future. There's a reason that scene holds so much weight pre-extermination. Absolutely. Because it's like it's you've been waiting almost 2 years to see them come back together again. It's crazy. So I love their relationship. That's why there's those moments throughout the series, like school reunion, and also the conversation in Impossible Planet. Do you know the conversation of which I speak?
Which one is it? When
there's two moments, but one doesn't involve Rose. So I'm talking about the one that involves Rose to begin with.
No, you got to tell me. You got to remind me.
They're sat on the base when they've already lost the TARDIS, and they're talking about like what they're going to do if they get out of there. And they're like, "Well, we haven't got the TARDIS now. You know, we have to live somewhere, get a house." And she's like, "You'd have to get a mortgage." And like they're having a conversation. He's like, "Well, you know, unless we could, you know, live together or something." And then they kind of go and then move on. Like that's another really good hint.
Yeah.
And then also when he cuts the cable in the not the Beast Below, the Satan Pit, and like he goes to say
that's
to
the bit I was
last
thinking
thing, he's
of.
like, he's like, tell Rose, tell her, oh she knows, and cuts it like that. There's so many little bits of that they're just so beautiful.
They play with it, yeah.
And that's why, Crispy, and I'm going to get you to lead with your thoughts on this, because I've got some specific stuff I want to say, but that's why when we get to Army of Ghosts and Doomsday, you cannot talk about Series 2 without spending time talking about Bad Wolf Bay, with that music motif, with all of that whole final scene. Talk me through your thoughts on that, Crispy. From her being stuck on the other side of the wall and them on the wall, right through to the beach, all of it. Like, yeah, you're gonna cry. Go for it. Get crying on the podcast.
No, I haven't thought about those episodes in quite some time. I think that might genuinely be the first time I cried in Doctor Who. Like, genuinely. Because, as you know, I watched a lot of things out of order and things didn't really make sense. But I remember buying the Series 2 DVD and watching that entire series with my sister. And by the time we got to the finale, we weren't in the car anymore. So I was able to watch it at home properly. And the music in that episode, phenomenal. The performances in that episode, phenomenal. And the twists in that episode, unreal. Like, just I never expected Rose to get trapped. And, you know, they lead the first part of the finale being like, oh, my name's Rose Tyler and this is how I die, or something like that. I can't remember. This is the day I die.
That was a bit odd.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, no, I didn't think it was odd. They were setting up, oh my gosh,
not
she's going to die.
Bad odds, just like I kind of wasn't expecting it to be there. I mean, bear in mind, exactly. I went into it knowing Rose wasn't in Series 3, so I knew she was going to get written out. But like...
Right, yeah, I had zero clue. I had no idea at all. And yeah, I mean, that beach scene will forever be one of Doctor Who's most iconic scenes and most well-known scenes and quotable scenes ever. And it's just heartbreaking. And like even the behind the scenes from that shoot, like there's so many little clips of like David Tennant and Billie Piper just crying, be like, oh, it's a bit too much. It's a bit too much. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a beautiful story. I think it's an absolutely stunning story. But I will say, did you know that they filmed that before they even filmed Idiots Lantern, Fear Her, Love and Monsters, Impossible Planet, Satan Pit?
I always find this weird when I find out they filmed the episodes in like different orders with the blocks, because they do that quite a lot with these series, don't they? I forget that.
I've got a video coming up where I talk about all of that.
Oh, there we go. We couldn't just have me shout out my things, you know. I didn't even shout what my Twitch link was, but yeah, you know.
Got to get in there, mate. I got your water bottle. I get some brownie points.
Hell yeah, you do. Of course you do. So, because the one thing I want to say about Doomsday myself is that it's kind of like a running joke now on like Twitter and TikTok. You'll see these things. It's like, you know, you know that you grew up in the UK in the early noughties, if you remember, and then they play the track or like just show you a picture of the beach. It's like anyone in the UK who watched Doctor Who around that time will always remember that scene in particular for the music, the emotion, the beach. That whole thing is just phenomenal.
Beautiful. It's stunning.
And I will reveal something. I was very young and didn't properly understand what was going on between the two of them. I did not understand for the very, very longest time that he was going to say, Rose Tyler, I love you, before he disappeared.
What did you think he was going to say?
Honestly, don't know. I think it was just that he got cut off and that they were just upset. And that was enough to make me cry as a kid. I think I only probably grasped it with Series 4, with that beach scene, and you're like, you know, how was that sentence going to end? And I kind of was like, how was it going to end? And then she kissed him and was like, you know, because I was young, I didn't pick up on all the hints of the romance, like the motifs and stuff. It's something I've understood more as I've got older. Like, I just was like, cool sci-fi show with monsters and cool characters, and just didn't really think about the nuances underneath it because I was like 7 years old, you know? But
yeah, and Russell's good at that.
Russell's good at that. He's good at his nuanced stuff. He's very good at that. But Chibnall's better. That was a joke. I just wanted to say that to see how many people would go, what?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
I'm a Chibnall fan, but like we can't argue that his stuff is more nuanced. It isn't.
No, absolutely not.
Just for a second, there'll be like maybe 40, 50 people who went, excuse me?
Excuse me? What?
It's beautiful.
No, Chibnall's good at many things, but I think we can all agree that Russell T Davies kind of gets more of a grasp of the characters and the emotional weight they hold.
What we need to do is we need to keep a record of how we rank each of these seasons, because I'm going to ask you now to rank the series, and then we'll read out some fan responses. We might be for less than 15 minutes, but we're still going to fit some in.
Okay.
So on a score of 1 to 10, what would you give Series 2? I don't remember what I gave Series 1.
Neither. We'll make a Twitter art or something. We'll make something.
Yeah, we'll keep a score.
We put them all. Yeah. I will give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. It gets some points removed because of Fear Her, and I was never really the biggest fan of New Earth. I never really liked that story.
It is one of the weaker opening episodes. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Bringing back Cassandra was a strange choice, but I do think it worked. Actually, I will say the ending of that episode. Like, it's you didn't need Cassandra back, but that ending really made up for it, and it goes, you know what, that gave us something I didn't think I needed. That was beautiful, that Cassandra got to watch herself die in a way, like, that was a really poetic thing.
But no, I think it is a very, very solid season. It's not necessarily one of my favourites, but I mean, 7.5 out of 10 is quite a good score for not one of my favourite seasons, so.
I'm trying to think in my head about which ones I'm going to give a 10 for, like, my peaks, and then how it falls underneath that. And I don't know whether to give Series 2 a 7 or an 8 because of that. So I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm going to settle on 7.5 as well. And I'll adapt it as we go by. I need to check what I said for Series 1. Maybe I'll alter Series 2 based on that. But we'll recap and then we'll know for Series 3, and we'll keep our records.
Beautiful.
Sound good?
Beautiful. Yep.
Right. Shall I read out some of our fan responses on Anchor through the Q&As?
Please.
Right. So,
and while you find those, everyone on YouTube, can you comment what you would rate Series 2 out of 10?
Yes.
Pretty please. Do that. Do that for me.
Do that,
please.
Well, I'd love to do. What we could do is once you get to looking back on Series 5 episode, we could do a poll, like, out of the 5 series we've reviewed so far, which one is your favourite, and then see how they rank up.
Now we're cooking.
All right, so let's have a look through some of the responses. So most of the responses come from episode 14, but we've got a handful in the other episodes as well, so we're going to look through those. Okay, so first response comes from ArtyZone24, who said, my favourite story from Series 2 is undoubtedly The Impossible Planet / The Satan Pit. Ever since seeing it for the first time, I've just been obsessed with how rich an atmosphere it has. It
is very good. The sets in that episode are awesome, and the ood are scary. There's some scary ood.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It's a great episode. Yeah, the ood are brilliant. They're very ood, you know? You got to do the joke.
Very, very ood.
Ahmad says, personally, I think it's RTD's worst series so far. It has some really good episodes. I like how he says so far, by the way. It has some really good episodes like School Reunion and the Cyberman 2-parter. We didn't talk about the Cybermen.
I was hoping someone was going to bring it up in a question.
Yeah, I was going to say, that 2-parter is phenomenal. And the Cyberman motif
is very strong. Very strong.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun 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 dun, which is a motif that got used again. My favourite reuse of it was in Series 8, and some people didn't pick up on it.
Elevator doors.
Yep, there's one reaction I watched in particular. I think it was Fail Whales, or one of them just didn't clock the motif because the door's shut and you see the Cyberman eyes in dark water,
and the music
in the background. You just hear. It's like, oh, hello. So, that's a great motif. But I agree with that statement that it's probably the weakest of his series. Worst seems really strong because I love all of them, but I don't.
But I think it is the weakest. I agree.
Series 1 or 2. I don't know.
For me, I prefer Series 1.
I think I'm not gonna answer it because I honestly don't think I could pick very easily. I don't think I could pick easily.
Well, I could.
It's difficult. What else have we got? Elise says quite simply, overhated, but not underrated.
Oh.
Overhated? Is Series 2 particularly a hated one? Are you thinking of just particularly because of Fear Her and Love and Monsters, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like overhated series, like, people give a lot of flack to Series 6 that I don't think it deserves. But yeah. What are you laughing at? I
started scrolling through the rest of the responses while you were talking, and I just came across Arthur Botley saying #absorb for Big Finish. Big Finish. That's beautiful. You've dabbled with stories. Now meet the genuine article. We've got to get a few of those in today. Tealers86 says, hands down, The Girl in the Fireplace is the best episode of the season. The season is a great introduction to Tennant's Doctor, but is still his weakest season, which is basically what we both said. Like, our viewers are really in tune with us, Crispy, our listeners, they know.
It's good.
They know.
It's great. Yeah. And they're apparently Capaldi stands too, so I'm just living life right now.
Yeah, loving life. It's a great time. It's a great time. I kind of want to just go through this. I think there's 14 responses overall. If we can dash through them all, then everyone's can get read. I don't know if I'll have chance for YouTube comments, so I might try and get a couple of them in a minute. But the focus is anchored. Like, the best way to reply is via the Spotify Q&A. You probably noticed that by now. It's where we get most of our answers from. So even if you have to just load up Spotify, quickly put a comment in and then leave it, just feel free to do that and then watch it on your preferred platform. Lewis Sutton Universe has said, a mixed bag of a series, to be honest. You've got great episodes like School Reunion, Impossible Planet, Satan Pit, Army of Ghosts, Doomsday, but some kind of bad too, like New Earth, Love and Monsters, and Fear Her. I don't think I'd say New Earth is kind of bad. I think it's just decent. I think bad is kind of like pushing it a little bit even kind of bad.
I never got around that episode.
I'll say one thing. I do think I'm not the biggest fan of the bravado of the sentence, I'm the doctor and I cured them. Like, that was a line that kind of felt
Does
a bit
he claim that?
He said that, right? That? He's like, they're all cured, and then he literally just shouts, I'm the doctor and I cured them. And it's like, yeah, you did, but it almost felt a bit show-offy for, like, his first proper episode.
Yeah.
Like, that line was a little bit, but then he's, like, lovely, and he's like, oh, hello,
Tennant.
You're okay. Like, he makes up for it then. So it's weird. Dill Bill said, least favourite series of the RTD era, so that's not an uncommon opinion, but The Impossible Planet Satan Pit is one of my favourite stories, with New Earth being my least favourite of the bunch. Wow! It's interesting that you pointed out New Earth, and we're seeing a few people saying that now in here. It's very interesting.
It's our audience, mate. They're in tune.
But it ends with a comment that I forgot we should have mentioned a little bit. Bill ends his message by saying, Series 1 Rose is better than Series 2 Rose, which is an argument I didn't really know was a thing until like a couple of years ago, and I never really thought about it. What are your thoughts? Do you prefer Rose in Series 1 or Series 2?
I feel like I've been on record where I've said I preferred Rose in Series 1, just because I don't know if I fully backed, like, the Tennant and Rose relationship. I kind of liked what they set up in Series 1, but I don't know, even after just talking to you and seeing the little nuances they had in there, I'm like, oh, that kind of makes more sense. Because I haven't done a Series 2 rewatch since, I was bloody 10 years old or whoever old I was. So I'm sure I could appreciate like the relationship a bit more between Tennant and Rose, but I don't know. I feel like if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Series 1. But I mean, it's all the same character.
Do you know what we could always do if you want to revisit some of these old episodes? We could rewatch like an episode a week and like do our commentary track, and then people could sync it up with Doctor Who and listen to us talk about the episode as it goes along.
Oh, that could be fun.
Commentary
that could
track,
be some exclusive content. Yeah. I like that.
What, we're going to open a Patreon and then have like commentary tracks for episodes every week?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, get us some money.
Money.
I haven't thought about the Rose thing too much. I think I prefer her in Series 2. But I think it's only marginally. I think I just because I like her with Tennant more, I think. And I think her character feels a bit more developed. Fair. One of my favourite moments is very underrated, a little tiny moment, is just the moment with when Rose like is talking to the family on the street, and like she goes to be like, good day to you, and she just this big grin and then just walks off. There's this particular image. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. I love that image.
That is good. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We've got about 7 more to read through, so let's see if we can get through them. Aidan Green says, Girl in the Fireplace is straight up beautiful. Many great eps in there, and even though I'm not huge on 10 Rose, Doomsday gets me every time. Series 1 Rose is superior, though. Look at these arguments forming across all the responses. It's interesting. I'm pinning these as we go along now, so it's only a month for some of them since they commented, but they get better late than never to get pinned, I don't know. I'm going to say her name. Kagitoki. Kagitoki. I'm so sorry. I probably butchered that. The best part of series 2 was Mickey coming into his own and becoming a proper character. The worst part has to be the way Rose became a love-struck, less independent character, at least in my opinion. So yeah, Mickey is obviously not really like the butt of the joke anymore in series 2. So that is a big plus. I do like that he kind of gets his own strength and goes, you know what, I don't need you, Rose. I'm going to do my own thing. And then she kind of wimps about it a bit, but she always treated Mickey like garbage anyway. That wasn't anything that changed between series 1 and 2. I think she probably treats him worse in series 1 than 2, which actually is a reason to like her less in series 1. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe because after the kiss in series 1 that like there's going to be more of a romantic flair in series 2 because we know there's something there, so she's going to feel a bit more like that. I don't know. Yeah. I always preferred the relationship between Tennant and Piper personally.
It's perfectly valid.
But it's interesting to see everyone saying this. I do find it interesting. Finally, for episode 14's comments, Minyu Sitch has said, "Fear Her is one of my least favourite episodes. It's just painfully boring, and the words Chloe Webber give me PTSD." Valid. Perfectly valid, honestly. Samesies. Oh, we got 15 responses, not 14. 5 more. Let's dash through them. Alpha said, Sarah Jane and K9, that's all I have to say. Even without watching Classic Who, they were amazing and fun characters, plus they had a spin-off as well. A goated spin-off. Perfect. A fantastic spin-off.
Spin-off.
Brilliant. Arthur Botley has commented again. I already entered a comment for this section last week, but for real, what a Chad move for Rusty Davies to randomly write a werewolf story on a drunken weekend, and it's pretty solid. Is that true? Did he write that on a drunken weekend? I'm looking this up. Tooth and Claw drunk.
Drunken
see if that
weekend.
Comes up. Doctor Who. Just gonna see if this comes up very quickly. Yeah. any kind of mention of that? I'm not seeing any mention of the drinking anywhere like immediately. But it could well be the case. I'd be interested to find more out about that. Intriguing. Osaka Scooter said, Fear Her is much worse than Love and Monsters. I'll stand by that one forever. It's not a hot take, it's just true. I don't care what anyone says. Moving on from that, Crispy, any thoughts on that statement, you know?
No, not
exactly,
at all.
Exactly.
Not one.
And finally, a couple of comments on the apology one, the first one from me a couple of weeks ago. Mark said, the episode where everyone is watching the Queen's coronation and are being sucked into TVs is pretty stupid. The Idiot's Lantern. I know that's one of the most bashed on episodes of there, but isn't like everyone's least favorite. Yeah. I liked it. I think it's a silly allegory for watching TV.
It's
watching the screens.
Silly.
It's daft, but I do like the episode still. I still think it's a good one.
Hungry.
I love the blooper of David Tennant going to see Rose with no face, and they pull the sheet off of Billie, and obviously she's not got no face when they're filming it, and every time they pull the sheet he just starts laughing. There's like a thing on YouTube of Series 2 bloopers, and he does it about 4 times. He just can't keep a straight face. It's brilliant.
It'd be very hard.
It will be very hard. I've got to imagine she's got no face.
Yeah.
And rounding it off, Liam McMillan has said, Rose and Ten just have such good chemistry. Mickey really develops as a character, and I love the parallel worlds integration. Brilliant.
Beautiful.
Well said. Yeah, parallel worlds are really... I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Who did the multiverse before Marvel Studios.
That's exact. I just made a video on that.
Just saying that.
I just made a video on that.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I just rewatched yesterday, and is such a good film. I love how I really didn't like it when it first came out.
I enjoyed it so much better. Have you
seen this in the background? I put this in the background because
is it zombie?
It's Doctor Strange, but it's a special chase one. It's a pop vinyl of him with blue.
Whoa.
It was the 1000th Marvel Funko Pop, and it's got the box like glows blue around the stripes and stuff. It's really cool. It's metallic. It's very, very cool design. Let me show you the pop on the side. That's what it looks like on the inside. You can see there.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
I just want to show you that really quick because I was really happy with that. Chase pops can be very expensive, but I feel like I got it for a decent price on eBay, so I'm quite happy.
Beautiful.
But that is all the fan responses regarding Series 2, and we're only just over an hour on the runtime, so I think it's a good way to wrap it up.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah. It's good to see you again, my friend. Too. It's good to record with you again.
It's good to see you too, brother. It's good to see you too.
Why are you trying to do the weird South African accent again?
I don't know. It's reached that time.
My friend, I've had a really good time watching Doctor Who with you today.
Oh, I've had a very good time looking back on Series 2.
Do? What was that? Do? It was like a twang in your voice there. Do?
The Series 2.
It's like when you take a ruler and put it on the end of the desk and then twang it and it goes. It's like do. Yeah, exactly. We need to stop talking now. We're clearly going crazy.
We have fun.
Thank you all very much for listening and watching episode 16 at last of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. We'll be back next week on Saturday, or occasionally Sunday if things get delayed, obviously, but usually Saturdays, with episode 17, where we will be talking about our theories on what will happen in Jodie Whittaker's final episode of Doctor Who, TBD. You know, it'd be great if we could say the name there, you know? But we're going to talk about our centenary theories, you know? The woman who fell to time. What will happen in The Woman Who Fell to Time?
Oh, please.
I want
please,
that to be
if you
taken
predict
so
that,
badly.
so you got Neil Patrick Harris, let's get that title.
Yeah.
Let's get
I mean,
that
it wouldn't be my
title.
prediction in fairness. I did pull it from someone who put it on Wikipedia, so I can't take credit for that. But
Oh, well,
it's still...
nah, we'll take a little partial credit for pushing it.
Crispy, I've got a really good idea for the title for the centenary.
Oh, what is it?
I think it should be called The Woman Who Fell to Time. Nice little, you know, reflects very well from our first episode.
Is brilliant.
You know? Yeah.
That is so smart.
There you go.
Wow.
That would be really cool if I get that right as well. Did you know that I predicted Shooty Gat would be the Doctor?
Oh, you are so smart.
I know. You can't go along with that now. You can't go along with that now.
Smart.
Oh, my jokes are not good. I'm being naughty now. I'm doing you dirty.
Boy.
I'm doing you dirty pig. Okay, that's enough now. That's enough now.
Go
so thank you all
home.
very much for
Go
listening and
home.
watching. We'll see you all next Saturday. We talk about the centenary. Let us know in the poll down below how you feel about us doing the future episodes and what you want to see from us doing bonus things, talking about other shows. And the Q&A, should have mentioned, but you'll see it underneath anyway. Whoops, we should have said it. The Q&A is, what are your thoughts, predictions, and feelings for the centenary? What do you want to happen? What do you think will happen? Let us know.
Let us
as
know.
well.
And
But
on
yes,
YouTube
so
too.
there you go. Yeah, on YouTube and Twitter too. We haven't had a chance to read through YouTube, so we might try and revisit that later down the line, but we want to keep the recording
Yes.
concise. Maybe we'll do something on Twitter this time, at Who's There DW. Maybe we'll ask you guys ahead of time on Twitter what your
Yeah.
predictions are for the centenary. And then Crispy can retweet it and it'll get some really good interaction then. Follow us on Twitter, please. Please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
come
you.
on. Get on
But yeah,
that.
thank you all very much for listening. We'll see you all next week with a new episode. Crispy, sign us off with a little sign-off message. How are we going to end the episode? It's on you.
We are going to end this episode by saying, you know what, Series 2 was a bit of a mixed bag. But you know what else is a mixed bag?
What?
Troy and I, but we get along just fine. Okay? And that's it. That's it.
We're a mixed bag. What does that mean?
Well, yeah, are we a normal bag? We're not a normal bag.
I called you ugly once, and you really took it to heart.
Yeah, and you know what? I had to buy your merch.
And now you look so much better.
I look so much better with it.
Just
look at
just
that.
buy the
I mean,
Red Archer
look at
Live
this.
hoodie, and then you're sorted. You're sorted.
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
It's actually very
Thank you
nice.
very much. You know, thank you. I pride myself in my merch.
Yes.
Crazy
Yes.
stuff.
All right.
Right.
That's my thoughts.
Fantastic.
Go home.
Thanks very much. So the concluding thought is actually buy my merch. Thanks very much, everyone. We really appreciate you all being here. We'll see you all next week for talking about the centenary. Until then, look after yourselves. Stay safe. Have fun watching Doctor Who, which is what you're going to do all week until the next episode. It's what we always do.
Correct.
Exactly. Thank you all for hanging out. And we'll see you all next week. Alonzi.
Alonzi, baby.